From politics to business, arts, crafts, entertainment, and other fields of endeavor, including education, people have the belief, or a lot of persons within Kogi State have the belief that it is not a fertile ground for success, especially if you want to get to the top of your choosing career. But this is an issue that is affecting a lot of people in terms of their views about the state, especially indigenes of the state, despite the fact that a lot of persons have come to the state and made fortunes and even risen to the highest level of their choosing career. That is why this topic is very important for us to look at and have a good understanding of the factors that are responsible for why some persons or a lot of persons within the state have to leave the state in order to succeed and then come back to the state. For example, the state has never gotten or elected an individual, an homegrown governor within the state. And a lot of other positions are also like that. Many businesses established by indigenous people end up going under, while foreigners, people from outside the state, come into Kogi and make fortunes. Some persons cannot rise to the highest level of their professional careers unless they leave the state, only to come back later. Japa within and Japa outside has become like a tonic to some persons' progress in society. We have the usual suspects on Confluence podcast. This edition, I have Okbe. I also have Oiza. So we always say ladies first. Oiza.
You read this one, ladies first. He for she. I mean, she for he.
No, I'm a he for
He
she.
for she.
He for she.
I'm a he for she. So
She for he. Well, the Kogi is not a fertile ground for success. I think it's in relative term. Because what success is in relative term. What you term success may not be success to someone else. You may be talking about, you may want to measure someone's success by the amount of money they have, amount of wealth they amass. And some other person will tell you, I'm content with the little I have. Some people will tell you, I can never leave Kogi. I will not leave the state for any reason. I cannot leave the state for any reason. I'm doing perfectly well in the states. And some other person will tell you, oh, my profession is not getting that push. I'm not getting, my potentials are not being utilized optimally in this state. I need to step out to get it right. Why some people will tell you, this is just the perfect environment I need for my profession. So I think it's in success, it's in relative term. I don't know, it's possible for other profession, but you see people that will tell you, in Kogi State, of course, Kogi State is a civil service state, but there are people that are still doing well within their own people set goals and ambition for themselves. They feel, for these goals I've set for myself, I am doing okay. I am not going anywhere. So when you're saying Kogi State is not a fertile ground for success or for people to succeed, you're like, but I'm doing well. I can feed. I can take care of my bills. I can take care of my family. They're just comfortable.
Average.
Averagely. They love that average life. So when you're now trying to talk about people that want to step up, they'll take a step back. I no do. I'm okay like this. Okay, I'll go to Abuja. The rent, the this, the that, the struggle. You have to start looking for who to meet, to push you. Okay, I'll go to Lagos. Some people are even too scared to go. So they rather stay back and make do with what they have. So when you're talking about success, it's a relative thing.
Okay.
I love that word that you used.
Okay, yes.
That some people are scared. Underline that. We'll come back to that. Some people are even scared to move. However, let's go into the issue of success. Kogi being sort of a hostile environment to those that are ambitious, who don't want to remain average, who don't want to live and die as a mediocre. You understand my point? Who feels they are more to offer than being local champions. Right? I'm just being factual as much as I can now. And I will go into certain sectors. For instance, within the entertainment sector, among the musicians, the movie producers and actors, you cannot say Kogi is in short supply of talents. However, you see some professionals they are professionals in their own right, who have put in hard work and commitment for more than 20 years, 15, 10 years within Kogi. And they have almost nothing to show for their efforts. And you just take a stroll to Abuja, take a stroll to Lagos, Port Harcourt, even to Kano, the Kannywood that was nowhere before. Today, they are up here. Kogi is nowhere on the map when it comes to entertainment sector. It's nowhere on the national map, whether I like it or not, despite the talent. Are you talking about sports? You discover that most of the stars, most of those who made it up there, they actually started moving up after leaving Kogi. Check your communities. The major stars in your communities, when you have lunch and you want to bring them, there are people, yes, maybe they are their primary schools, yeah, they are their secondary school, yeah. Maybe some of them even attended Kogi Poly before we had the university. But they had to leave Kogi totally, either within Nigeria or outside Nigeria, but they left Kogi. And some of them decided to remember home. So many of them don't even come back or remember where they come from. So it brings this fear that, are you really sure Kogi is not truly a place you should stay if you want to be really, really up there? I may not be able to list out all the factors responsible for this, right? But whether you like it or not, it is becoming almost a fact that this place is not a fertile ground for high achievers.
You made mention of entertainers.
Yes.
I want to talk about that. I think when it comes to that, I feel like people have a mindset.
Okay.
It's more of a cultural thing. And another thing, I call it I am factor. No,
it's a
I am
okay.
This familiarity. Okay. As in we're too familiar with each other that rather than celebrate me, rather than promote me, you choose to go out there and promote someone else. For instance, we've seen instances, I don't want to mention them, where we have events in the States and we have good entertainers,
okay,
that you can use that platform to promote,
okay,
and push. But rather than using them, you go out, push millions out, and bring in people that even when they are even singing, some of our people don't really know what they are saying. We'll just be nodding our head. And that's that. Then what happens?
But they're superstars.
Why can't you make this one superstars too? If you have that money to give out, why can't you make them the superstar? Why can't you give them that push? You just said that we have a lot of talents in the state. If we have a lot of talents in the state and we have people that can push them, why are they not helping them to showcase their talent to the world?
Oh, sure.
So why? No, wait. No, I just said there are events. When I said there are events, even if I don't want to mention them, we've seen events that these people are not, they were not invited to
perform.
But outsiders, they will just come, drop 1 or 2 songs, and they go away with millions of nairas. So what of your indigenous artists? What happened to them?
Maybe they are not good enough.
No. Why are they not good enough? Who said they are not good enough? Who said we have talents?
You see,
so why are they not good enough?
This issue is actually all encompassing. It affects many sectors. It is not only in the entertainment industry. For example, I am an on the field person as a journalist.
Oh, yes.
All right. You go to many events and you find out that how they treat you as an indigenous journalist is different from the way they treat journalists from outside the state.
I am in Aune. You know me too much. That's why.
When it comes to that, I get easily pissed at people taking us for a ride. And this kinds of patronage contributes to how it is affecting all other sectors. For example, you start a business, say as a co-guide in Lokoja, you start a business. It is your brothers, your sisters, they are the ones that will come and get your things probably on credit.
On credit and run you down.
And at the end, your turnover is destroyed because some of them will not pay you, or they pay you halfway, will not pay the rest even if they have it, or they will blatantly not even pay you at all.
And when they have the car, they move to someone else.
Yes, that destroys your business. But say an Igbo man come to Lokoja. For example, everywhere you go, people talk about Peelings. Oh, if Peelings is watching this program, I'm not beefing you, I'm not jealous, but this is a fact. If this business was started by an indigenous person,
should not grow.
Maybe out of blackmail or jealousy or pure wickedness, somebody will just come and cut away your goods. He didn't steal it. He came out of trust to come and collect your goods with the hope of paying at a later date. They end up not paying, or pay you halfway or mess you up. At the end, you don't have enough resources to turn the business over.
Restock.
You cannot restore.
So is it better for that indigent to go out of Kogi, even if it's Kotangura, to go and set up his own same type of business, succeed, and then send in
I think that
change.
I think it's a 218. I think it's a 218. Because just like we're talking about someone now setting up a business that is not, he's not indigenous to this place.
Yes.
He moved from his place
to
this place. We don't really know him enough. That familiarity is not there enough for me to walk up to him and tell him I want to buy television on credit. I'll pay you 5 times, okay, or 6. From January to June, I'll pay you. Then probably he will look at the relationship between your father and my father, or the relationship between your mother and my mother, and the fact that if I did not give you, they say, well, you look at me. He doesn't have that kind of setting here.
Yeah.
He has moved from his place. Probably if I also move from here now and say, okay, let me go to Abuja or go to Nasarawa where no one knows me, you can't just come and meet me. I said, you don't know me. You can't just come and meet me and tell me I should sell you Ankara on credit. How? Well, I don't want to start now. How, you understand?
Yes.
So the same thing you are saying now, he is succeeding because he moved. Then me and you we're here together now. You know me by my name. Aside from the Oiza, my other names, you know them. So you can afford to say, I want this. And if you don't pay, I'm not going to drag you. I think he moved. So if you also want to succeed,
Yes.
succeed, mega, the
Success.
success, that mega success people are talking about, not the average.
Not the average, yeah.
Then you have to move.
You see why this is instructive is the fact that we're born into knowing an individual that we don't many people don't know his real name. It is he became one of the industrialists in Lokoja in the hotel industry. Nachako, we passed through the front of his house to my primary school, Ansaru, in Nuliaut. He started his business here in Lokoja until his death. And then the business been taken over by his children. He ran the business successfully. Probably like Peelings is because he is an Igbo man. That's why he succeeded. But if he had been an indigene of the state, a Lokoja person, he probably would not have gone that far.
Probably.
He probably would not have gone that far.
That's a probability.
Because Liberty Hotel started by an indigenous person, even before his death, became a shadow of itself in the same no layout here in Lokoja.
I know.
It became a shadow of itself. It wasn't as he established it. Now the place is gone.
That's as good as gone.
It's gone. The place is gone. So this is an example of a particular business, other businesses, but it is not all doom and gloom when it comes to establishing businesses in Lokoja, being an indigenous person and succeeding. I know some persons whose business, in fact, they so succeeded that they have passed it to the next generation. Especially, I know a few persons in the livestock industry here in Lokoja. They so succeeded and became financially strong that their children have taken it over and they are still running the business. And then again, we have an indigenous person or two indigenous persons that I know, Lokoja indigenous people, who have car stands that are not finding it funny. They are not finding it easy here in Lokoja. But an outsider with a car stand here in Lokoja, he's succeeding. So,
the issue is just like you mentioned, the livestock business person who's indigenous, who succeeded and passed it over to the next generation. I know so many indigenous business persons who have succeeded as well. I don't want to go into mentioning their names.
Yes.
But it's not as if people have not made it here in Kogi State.
Indigenous people.
Yes, indigenous people. They've made it. We have seen some who made it, who went down along the line. We have seen some who were able to sustain success. However, we are just saying that these are isolated cases. Fueling the fears that, are you sure that Kogi State, the business environment, the career environment, is it really a fertile ground for people to succeed, to dream big, to aim higher, and to make more impact? I don't think it's a crime for any child or any young man or woman that is growing up to dream big. And I want to be as big as Dangote, right?
Yes.
I want to be as big as Otedola. I don't think it's a crime. But I'm saying, I'm still asking the question. We are querying this issue. Is it true, the fears that Kogi is not a fertile ground?
I think that notion can actually be debated just the way we're doing now. It is not peculiar to Kogi State.
Okay.
Issue of succeeding within your environment of birth, your environment of early development, issue of succeeding in it, it's not peculiar to Lokoja or Kogi State. As we've mentioned some some people from the East, Igbo people, that have made huge successes running their businesses here in Lokoja. Then also, people of Lokoja indigene, people of Kogi indigene have gone outside to also succeed and bring in their resources. I think it is about, we need to have this reorientation. We need to have a rethink as to how we approach indigenous businesses, indigenous endeavors, indigenous, entrepreneurial efforts of individuals. Because you can't say, because you know this person, you know how this person grew up, or the origin of that person as an indigenous person, and his efforts, the resources he has put into a business, you begin to approach it with disdain. You do not want to take it serious, and he's serious because he wants to make a living out of it. The way you see an outsider and you say whatever business the person is doing, you are going to take it serious. If you purchase goods or he renders services worth a particular amount of money, you should make effort to pay the person up so that he can continue to develop that endeavor. It doesn't have to be just business, because when you talk about business, you're talking about a particular physical goods. Okay. Some persons are into service rendering. They provide services. If they provide that service and you know this is the worth of the service, you should be able to pay the person so that the person can be encouraged to continue in that endeavor.
Now you're talking about culture shift, right?
Yes.
That one is a large issue that I don't think we can even fully dissect today. But you mentioned something. No, I said you should underline that. Take note. You talk about people decide to stay back. Fine, fantastic. But you mentioned two things. They are contented, right?
Yes,
with what they can get here. I can decide to study hard, come out with a first class or a 2-1, get my master's degree, get my PhD, become a lecturer. We have so many universities now, about 4 or 5 universities in Kogi State.
Yes.
And I get to the top of my career, become professor. Maybe I become a DVC, dean, or even the vice chancellor of the university. What again can you say? Can you say I've not gotten to the peak of my career?
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you also mentioned something. That's what I told you about. Get to take note of that. Maybe they are even scared of going to Abuja. Scared of. Now that comes to another issue that people raise. Even people who are not indigenous of Kogi State and people here, that seems like Kogi people are always too scared to move out of their state.
Comfort zone.
Yes. You even see graduates. Thank God we have so many institutions in Kogi now. When they graduate after NYC, they go back to their village and start becoming the champion within their own communities. And then start looking for a government job, civil service job. Senator must come and get me FRS, get me fire service, get me NNPC job, and the likes. That is it that yes, I know so many persons have gone where we have, like I said, but it looks like the ratio is small compared to those who are scared to move out, or who are just too contented to remain here and become local champions.
This reminds me of a particular piece done by one of the foremost journalists in Kogi State, Mr. Donato Sokwe.
Okay.
He did a piece he titled House or Home Witches.
Okay.
He did, that piece was centered on the journalism practice and how within people practice something we call in journalism, we'll call it Afghanistanism, where they focus on issues outside the state rather than issues within. That's what he was trying to, digest in that piece. But in actual fact, which is within is something that cut across every aspect of our lives. People within, some persons probably because of jealousy, some because of, I don't know, whatever mentality they have about people possibly succeeding ahead of them and leaving them behind, relegating them to the background. They begin to,
hatred.
Yes.
Obvious.
Envy.
Yes, they begin to envy and begin to.
It shouldn't be you.
Because you are.
Yes.
Why should
Because
it be
you
you?
stayed back within your
Yes.
area.
Why should it be you?
In fact, people make practical effort to see that
They thwart your
the
effort.
person making that effort does not succeed. And it is funny. I think I keep saying that until we change,
Culture change.
and this is what is going to bring about that economic improvement that would affect our quality of lives and the way we run things here in Kogi State. Those other places people are running to, be it Lagos, be it Kaduna, be it Kano, be it even Abuja. It's not something that just happened overnight.
That's the
People
fear.
were ready to sink their resources
Down there.
there. People were ready. When you patronize somebody, whether providing service or into selling of goods, you are expected to pay the person in full within
Yeah, but
the.
you know
Yes.
that there are times that you render service to someone and the person pay. When the person pay and you look at the amount, you know that what he has paid for is far above, not in the state too, far above what you worked for. Then deep down you know that this person just want to help me grow. You just want me, okay, I've rendered this service. How best can you give, how best can you help me without saying I dash you money? It's to pay for my service and probably add something for me to grow. Now, I know that I've said some of us are comfortable staying in Kogi State. We feel that maybe one day miracle will happen, or we'll just feel as far as I can eat, I can wear good clothes, my children can go to school, I'm okay like that. But the truth still remains that I agree with you people that for entertainers, if you really want to make it, it's either you go out or we beg those people that have the money to please invest in them, promote them. Then I was saying we don't have a lot of factories or industries, and people were saying we have it, they are there. Do you notice a pattern? The pattern is that in Kogi State, the first one, not 2 weeks, so the first 5 days after salary payment of salary, everywhere is rosy, business will boom. Then the moment you step into the second week, you're going to sleep.
Yeah.
Till next month.
Salary.
Again, so if you're saying factories, industries, how now? Okay, pure water, how much are they paying them? How much do you think they're paying? You just say pure water factories, how much are they paying them? It's so, and you also talk about people that you said the places like Lagos, Abuja, people invested. How many people are ready to invest here? They don't even want to. Even people that will come back here and make the little money they can make, they move it out and invest elsewhere.
I think I'm not trying to cut you short, but I think before you ask for investment, there's something I normally ask people to do. Raise the bar.
How do you raise the bar?
Raise the bar. And what I'm saying is work more on the quality of your product and services. The fact that you are here in Kogi, you are making shoes, right? I have to abandon better and more comfortable shoes and buy. You get my point now. I'll give you an instance. Some years ago, bakers associations who make bread in Kogi wrote a letter and they were asking the government to ban bakers from bringing bread from Abuja. And people were like, allow us to consume whatever we
free
want.
of choice.
Yes, because some people complain that most of your bread are like rubber.
Cassava.
So if you know the number of buses that ferry in bread from Abuja on daily basis to Lokoja, then you know that there is a business gap. There's an opportunity for somebody to start making good bread in Lokoja. If we have like 10 people making good breads in Lokoja with fair prices, competitive prices, I don't think they will face Nasarawa and Niger and Suleja and other parts of the country and not here. What value are we adding to our product and services, be it entertainment or business? How most of the fishes that all these are point and key that we eat every night in Lokoja, they come from Lagos, Akure, Ibadan, Kwara. Yes, and yes, we have River Niger, and been joining each other here in Lokoja, and so many other riverine areas. 9 local government affected by flood every flood season. You understand my point? They are all riverine areas, yet the bulk of the fishes, 90% of our point and key, are not produced, are not raised and produced there.
I think this topic, as interesting as it is a topic we cannot exhaust in just one edition of this podcast. We have continued to come up with topics that affect Kogi State and Lokoja, the state capital, and how we can change the narrative about the state. It is high time we begin to change the way we do things, because nobody can truly come here to develop our state for us. It behoves the people of the state, the indigenous people, wherever you are, come and invest in Kogi State. Do not leave the state to the Dangotes of this world, the Mangals of this world. Those places that have been allocated to them to do their cement businesses. If you bring in your money, of course, you're at home. The government of the state can provide you with enabling environment to do your investment and make money.
And to grow.
You will have more passion for the true development of your community than outsiders that are coming here with the intention, pure intention of making money, irrespective of what environmental degradation they cause or whatever insecurity that comes in. It is high time we also begin to be responsible as individuals. You buy goods from anybody or you get services rendered by anybody, please pay in full and pay on time, so that just like those Igbo and Hausa men that are here making money and sending to their states, our people can also make money. We will see you on more interesting topics on Confluence Podcast. Bye-bye.